gentlemen, you're listening to Decades with Joe E. Kramer. Too true to believe, too true to be true. You be the judge.
You turn the time circuits on. Say, kids, what time is it?
It's 7 o'clock.
You tell me you built a time machine?
Time won't give me time. Gotta get back in time. Time after time. I believe it's time for me to fly. I've got too much time on my hands. It's getting away with my sand. If I could turn back time, if I could find a way.
This is where the past comes alive. Decades with Joe E. Kramer starts now.
All right, here we go. It's another Saturday night. Welcome to another edition of Decades. The 80s, the 90s, and the beyond. We had a great show tonight. Hairspray at 8, of course. Singing with the Sam, and a special guest. Kicking off with Brian Adams.
You're the sign of time, and you caught my eye, but I never thought that I'd touching you. How was I to know and let my feelings go, and that I'd be yours before the night was through? One night love affair, try to make like we don't care. We were both reaching out
on air, online, and on your mobile device. Decades is everywhere, 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 everywhere.
Christopher Cross, winner of Best New Artist Grammy, 1980, I think it was 81, 82. Always became kind of a curse, but Mr. Cross is stand the test of time, I guess.
Joey Kramer. Turn it up. This is Decades.
We lost another member, of course. Tony Lewis passed away back in October. No cause of death. Gotta rock the outfield. Since you've been gone, this is Decades.
Since you've been gone, there's something I wanna say. Since you've been gone, there's no one taking your place. Since you've been gone, I've just been fooling around. Since you've been gone, this one's been time. something I wanna say since you've been gone. There's no one to stand in my way since you've been gone. I'm so scared of losing this time since you've been gone. Girl, you know that I can't get you out of my mind since you've been gone. Staring at your photograph, and I know that I was wrong, and I know you're coming back since you've been gone. I try my best to read between the lines. If some things are hard to say, you better tell me one more time since you've been
Decades with Joe E. Kramer and another lost track from the 80s.
baby, how you doing? Come on in here. Got some hot chocolate on the stove waiting for you. But listen, first things first, let me hang up that coat. Yeah, how's your day today? Did you miss me? Yeah, you did. Yeah, I missed you too. I missed you so much I followed you today. That's right. Now close your mouth, cause you cold busted. That's right, now sit down here. Sit down here, so upset with you, don't know what to do. And my first impulse was to run up on you and do a Rambo. Whip out the jammy and flat blast both of you. But I ain't want to mess up this $3,700 Lynx coat. So instead, I chilled. That's right. Chilled. Then I went to the bank, took out every dime. And then I went and canceled all those credit cards. Yeah. All your charge counts. Yeah. I stuck you up for every piece of jewelry I ever bought you. Yeah, that's right. Everything. Everything. Did fly with me. Nah, don't go looking in that closet, because you ain't got nothing in there. Everything you came here with is packed up and waiting for you in the guest room. That's right. What was you thinking about? Huh? What was you trying to prove? Huh? This with the juice. You know, I gave you silk suits, Gucci handbags, blue diamonds. I gave you things that couldn't even pronounce. Now I can't give you nothing but advice, because you still young. That's right, you still young. I hope you learn a valuable lesson from all this. You know? You're gonna find somebody like me one of these days. Until then, you know what you gotta do? You gotta get on out of here with that alley cat coat wearing, hush puppy shoe wearing, crumb cake I saw you with. Because you dismissed. That's right.
It is decade.
Silly rabbit tricks are made for kids. Did you know that?
Jones.
You without me like cornflake without the
Born
milk.
in Houston, Texas, raised in Harlem, New York. Actual real name is Orrin Jones. That is, he just put the juice in there. So it was always orange juice. Whatever. There's a one-hit wonder if you ever saw one. The Rain from 1980, I think it was 1988, 1986, something around there. Let me check. I want to give you the right. 1986. Hit number 9, number 1 R&B, and number 9 pop. Right here on Decades. It's Joey Kramer. We got a big night, of course, like we do every Saturday night. We have Hairspray at 8 coming up at 8 o'clock. We have Singing with the Sam. We have our 8-track classic flashback later on this hour. And at 9 o'clock, we have a Decades Artist Spotlight, maker of the Pac-Man Fever and all those great video game songs from the 1980s. Jerry Buckner from Buckner and Garcia will be talking to us. So that's after 9 o'clock. Don't go anywhere. We got more Decades coming up. Sweet Sensation and her Tiffany and our 8-track classic flashback from my mother's favorite artist. All straight ahead, right here. We're live everywhere in the world. Decades at JoeyKramer.com, the Radio Bold app for your iPhone or Android device. And right here on the river, 105 and 103.5. Hang on.
Do not attempt to change the frequency.
Changing channels is not only foolhardy, but also extremely dangerous.
We know. That's what everybody says.
So I don't believe you ought to try it.
Now, back to the music. This is Decades with Joe E. Kramer. Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
The biggest hits. Forever.
05 full hours of retro radio. Tiffany, brand new album coming out in May. I don't know the title yet. I do know she's doing her little show, Let's Food with Tiffany. So if you go over to facebook.com/Tiffany, Tiffany Tunes, or is it just Tiffany? Just Tiffany. Check it out. All This Time from 89.
All this time, I knew someday you need to find something that you left behind, something I can't give you. All these tears, and like a light, love disappears, but hearts are good for souvenirs, and memories are forever. All this time, all in all, I've no regrets. The sun still shines, the sun still sets, and the heart forgives, the heart forgets. What will I do now with all this time? One more kiss, even though it's gone to this, I'll close my eyes and make a wish, hoping you'll remember all this time. All in all, I've no regrets. The sun still shines, the sun still sets, and the heart forgives, the heart forgets. What will I do now with all this time? Say goodbye, apart we'll make another try. Don't be sorry if you cry, I'll be crying too. All this time, all in all, I've no regrets. The sun still shines, the sun still sets, and the heart forgives, the heart forgets. What will I do now with all this time? What will I do now with all this time?
Crack open a new Coke and slip on those leg warmers. This is Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
I've been watching you. Think I wanna know ya. Said I'm real dangerous. Girl, I'm going to show ya.
What's your guts? You wanna make love or what? Oh, I won't take you to my cage, lock you up and hide the key. You are only get wilder, babe, 'cause if you're hungry, take a bite of me. Oh, jungle love, yes. Think I wanna know ya. Hey, jungle love. Girl, I'd love to show ya. Yeah, jungle love. I think I wanna know ya. Jungle love. Girl, I think I wanna find my name. Hey, Jesse. Now, Jerome. Yes. Check it out. Jungle love, yeah. I think I wanna know ya. Jungle love, yes. Girl, I'd love to show ya. And that jungle love, wow. I think I wanna know ya. Jeremy, Jesse, give me one of them sexy solas. Right in. Bring it down. Yes. Get out of the way. More. Oh, jungle love. That's right. Can't nobody fuck with me. I got a basket love. I got a fireplace too. I'm all the way wild, baby. I know the things I can do to you. Jungle love, jungle love. Yes, yes.
It is decades 1984. Purple Rain introduced us to the time.
Hold on.
And Jungle Love and Joey Kramer, his first hit, 1960, called New Orleans. 21 years later, in 81, Gary U.S. Bonds. Out of work, right here on Decades.
I'm up and out, feet beating on the sidewalk, down at the unemployment agency. All I get called, I check the mornings, but there just ain't nobody hiring. What's a man supposed to do when he's down and out of work? I need a job, I'm out of work. I'm unemployed, I'm
Decades with Joe E. Kramer gives you this week's 8-track classic flashback.
Last night I waved goodbye. Now it seems years. I'm back in the city where nothing is clear but thoughts of me holding you, bringing us near. And tell me, when will our eyes meet? When can I touch you? When will this strong yearning end? And when will I hold you again? Time in New England took me away to long rocky beaches, you by the bay. We started a story whose end must now wait. And tell me, when will our eyes meet? When can I touch you? When will this strong yearning end? And when will I hold you again? I feel the change coming. I feel the wind blow. I feel brave and daring. I feel my blood flow. With you, I could bring out all the love that I have. With you, there's a heaven, so earth ain't so bad. And tell me, when will our eyes meet? When can I touch you? When will this strong yearning end? And when will I hold you again?
It is the 8-track classic flashback. Barry Manilow. He'll turn 78 years old this year. 85 million albums that man has sold. And he was constantly played in my house when I was growing up. My mother is a huge Barry Manilow fan. I took her to see him like in 1995. Bras flying everywhere. It was something I will never forget. I could honestly say that. Weekend in New England, by the way, is the song. And Barry Manilow, that was like his 5th top 10 hit or something. He said it was simply about a man missing a woman he met while on a weekend in New England. He had fallen in love and now wonders when or if he will see her again. There you go. All right, we got more decades coming up. Of course, Hairspray at 8 is next. You don't want to go anywhere for that. Then we have the Decades Artist Spotlight, Jerry Buckner, Pac-Man Fever, and more coming up at 9 o'clock. And, of course, Singing with the Sam at 10:15. Don't go anywhere. This is Decades. Around the world, Decades at joeykramer.com, the radio build out for your iPhone or Android device, and right here.
It's 8 o'clock.
Hi, this is Mark Slaughter of the band Slaughter.
Heaven awaits us and
Stephen Piercy.
This is Ian Howland from the band Europe.
To Joey Kramer on Decades.
You're listening to Decades with Joey Kramer.
You're listening to my buddy Joey Kramer right here on Decades.
This is Hairspray at 8 on Decades.
All right, here we go. One full hour. One full hour of the metal that you loved in the 1980s and beyond. It's the original Hairspray at 8. Let's get it going tonight. Europe, rock the night. This is Hairspray at 8. Get that volume. Turn it up.
I've gone through changes. I've gone through pain. But it's not enough reason for me to go insane. I know the feeling just when it grows. I'm in a rage up from my head down to my toes. You know that easy, running out of thrills. You know that easy when you don't know what you want. What do you want? Whoa, you want to rock now, rock the night, till in the morning light. Rock now, rock the night. Oh, whoa, yeah, rock now, rock the night. You better believe it's right. Rock now, rock the night. Oh, whoa, I know my limit, just what it takes. When things ain't good enough, I just pull the brake. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes so tough. But just have one thing clear, I can't get enough. You know that easy, running out of thrills. You know that easy, when you don't know what you want. What do you want? Whoa, you want to rock now, rock the night, till in the morning light. Rock now, rock the night. Oh, whoa, yeah, rock now, rock the night. You better believe it's right. Rock now, rock the night. Oh, whoa, yeah, yeah. Oh, rock now, rock the night. 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 Rock it. You know that easy, running out of thrills. You know that easy when you don't know what you want. What do you want? Oh, you want to rock now, rock the night, till in the morning light. Rock now, rock the night. Oh, whoa, yeah, rock now, rock the night. You better believe it's right. Rock now, rock the night. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Rock now, rock the night, till in the morning light. Rock now, rock the night. Oh, yeah, rock now, rock the night. You better believe it's right.
How much hairspray do you use? This is Hairspray at 8 on Decades.
It is Decades. Hairspray at 8. Faster Pussycat. That was the song that really broke him through. Tammy Downs said he wrote about his father. He said Downs' father was a guitar player who brought rock music into the household, which he says was the only contribution to his life that his father ever made. So there you go. It is Joey Kramer. Band is Easy O. Jamie St. James was the lead singer of this. Produced by Gene Simmons, his first band. Easy O. Flashback Heart Attack. Hairspray at 8.
Living alone, ready to bed. Nothing's gonna mean a thing if I don't have you. You pass me by with a wink of an eye. I'm all shook up and I don't know what to do. There's been a look in your eyes, and you look at my eyes. I must be dreaming. I must be dreaming. Flashback, hijack. Every time I see your face. Flashback, hijack. Ooh, you drive me wild. Flashback, hijack. Come and take me away. Night after night, I pull up a fight. Nobody else got so much to win like I do. Oh, living the life of an angry young fool. Standing in the shadows, I gotta stay cool. If you look in your eyes, and you look at my eyes, I must be dreaming. I must be dreaming. Flashback, hijack. Every time I see your face. Flashback, hijack. Ooh, you drive me wild. Flashback, hijack. Someone come and take me away. Living alone, ready to bed. Everybody knows that you've got a hold of me. Living the life of an angry young fool. Standing in the shadows, I gotta stay cool. Every time I look in your eyes, and you look at my eyes, I must be dreaming. I must be dreaming. Flashback, hijack. Every time I see your face. Flashback, hijack. Ooh, you drive me wild. Flashback, hijack. Someone gonna take me away. Take me away. Flashback, hijack. Flashback, hijack. Flashback, hijack. Someone gonna take me away. Flashback, hijack. Ooh, you drive me wild. Flashback, hijack. Every time I see your face. Flashback, hijack. Ooh, you drive me wild.
How high was your hair? This is Hairspray at 8. This is Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
I wanna give it all to you.
In the darkness, there's so much I want to do. And tonight, I want to lay it at your feet. 'Cause girl, I was made for you. And girl, you were made for me. I wanna see it in your eyes. Feel the magic. There's something that drives me wild. And tonight, we're gonna make it all come true. 'Cause girl, you were made for me. And girl, I was made for you.
Beth was a big one, but you know what? That was a song that really, really launched Kiss because it was different. Desmond Child was just on a podcast recently, and he was talking about it. You know, he wrote songs for Joan Jett, Aerosmith, Alice Cooper. He even wrote Ricky Martin, The Cup of Life, and Livin' La Vida Loca, and he said him and Paul Stanley exchanged songs with each other. And Desmond, helping Paul, writes, I Was Made for Loving You. And he said, you know, Paul got the better end of the stick, but he said, you know what? I did pretty good. He said, because that song is one of the reasons I've been kept going financially in my entire life. The song's royalties are incredible every single solitary year. So Desmond says he won in the whole deal, but Desmond Child, fantastic songwriter, did some of the biggest songs. And Kiss, of course. I Was Made for Loving You right here on Decades. We got more coming up. Don't go anywhere. Coming up in about 9 o'clock. We have a Decades artist. You like that? Decades artist spotlight. Jerry Buckner from Buckner and Garcia. We all had Pac-Man when we were younger, and we all loved the Pac-Man fever. And Jerry Buckner from that group will be with us at 9 o'clock. Don't miss it. We got Poison. Do you remember a band called Green Jelly? I forgot about them. And it's hard to place where to put their music, but We got the Three Little Pigs coming up, too. Don't go anywhere. This is Hairspray at 8 around the world, decades at joeykramer.com, the radio bold app for your iPhone or Android device, and right here on the river, 105 and 103.5. Hang on.
This is Hairspray at 8 with Joe E. Kramer. Turn it up.
Hearts of fire, streets of stone, modern warriors, satellite horses of chrome, taste the wild, lick the wind, like something never saw before. Their jaws dropping to the floor, steel made of soul and sin. Rebels born without a care, only to fly where eagles dare. And at night she whispers, ride the wind, never coming back until I touch the midnight sun. Ride the wind, never coming back until I touch the midnight sun. Painted flesh, loyalty, humble pride, just as far as I could see. Stories told to a friend, yeah. Battle scars and lonely falls, and nights the rain would end. To weathered eyes and gypsy smiles, lovely ladies and a million miles. And at night she whispers, ride the wind, never coming back until I touch the midnight sun. Ride the wind on steel made of soul and sin, burning till the night is done. All the truths and lies and stories of riders in the sky. Only the bravest try, where eagles and angels dare to fly. Ride the wind, never coming back until I touch the midnight sun. Ride the wind, never coming back until I touch the midnight sun. Ride the wind, never coming back until I touch the midnight sun. Ride the wind, never coming back until I touch the midnight sun.
It is Hairspray, and I gotta give them credit in Poison. Except for a short time, they kept their group together, and all four original members are with them today. Not like Rat, who has been the virtual revolving door other than Stephen Piercy. Bobby Blott's are back with them now, too, so. Who would have thought? For their 1999 album, Rat. Live for today. This is Hairspray at 8.
Standing in the pouring rain, watching all my years, feeling all the pain. Gonna take some time for this heart of mine to find. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It's time for you to choose. Live for today. Don't wait until tomorrow. Why spend your time being somewhere you don't wanna be? Realize
This is Hairspray at 8.
The biggest hits. November.
Well, first little piggy, well, he was kind of hippie, spent most of his days just dreaming of the city. And then one day, he bought a guitar. He moved to Hollywood to become a star. But living on the farm, he knew nothing of the city. Built his house out of straw, what a pity. Then one day, jamming on some chords, along came the wolf, knocking on his door. Little pig, let me in. By the hair of my chinny chin chin. Well, I'm huffing, I'm puffing, I'll blow your house in. Huffing, puffing, blow your house in. Huffing, puffing, blow your house in. Huffing it up, puffing it up, blow your house in. Well, the second little piggy, well, he was kind of stoked and spent most of his days just a gun, just smoking. Hopping and a bopping down on Venice Beach. Getting paid money for religious speech. Built his shelter from what he garbage picked. Mostly made up of old cans and sticks. Then one day he was cranking up on Marley. Along came the wolf on his big bad Harley. Little pig, let me in. Well, I'm huffing, I'm puffing, I'll blow your house in. Huffing, puffing, blow your house in. Huffing, puffing, blow your house in. Huffing it up, blow your house in. Well, a third little piggy, the grade A student, his daddy was the rock star. Named Pig Nugent, earned his master's degree from Harvard College. Built his house from his architect knowledge. A tri-level mansion, Hollywood Hills. Daddy's rock stardom paid for the bills. Then one day came the old house master, the big bad wolf, the little piggy slasher. Little pig, let me in. Little pig, let me in. Well, I'm huffing, I'm puffing, I'll blow your house in. Huffing, puffing, blow your house in. Huffing, puffing, blow your house in. Huffing it up, blow your house in. Well, a big bad wolf, well, he huffed and he puffed all that he could. And lo and behold, the little piggy's house stood. It's made out of concrete, the little piggy shouted. The wolf just frowned as he pouted. So they called 911 like any piggy would. They sent out Rambo just as fast as they could.
Yo, Wolfface, I'm your worst nightmare. Your ass is mine.
Well, the wolf fell dead, as you can plainly see. And that's the end of the story for you and me. You still give a listen, you just may hear the big wolf, a little piggy say, little pig, let me in. Little pig, let me in.
Oh, that is green jelly. Originally called green jello, but then they were like harassed by Kraft Food and they had to change their name. But there you go, green jelly. And gotta turn that up there. Three Little Pig. Twisted Sister, turn it up.
Just like a sister or a brother, big cruelty our school. In the name of rock and sister or a brother. Be cruel to your school in the name of rock and roll. Sinners, I see them walking around like the living dead, and they got nothing between their ears. How come they don't seem to hear a single word I say? They ain't the only one who's born to tears. Now there must be a better way to educate, 'cause this way ain't working like it should. Can they just invent a pill or frozen concentrate that makes you smarter and tastes so good? 'Cause hey, I gotta know what I'll have to show when I hoe it from here. Will I be in pain, or will I have a brain, or will I go insane? I'm gonna say yeah, 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 yeah. Just like a sister or a brother. Be cruel to your school in the name of rock and roll. Be cruel to your school, 'cause you may never get another. Be cruel to your school in the name of rock and roll. Be cruel to your school, just like a sister or a brother. Be cruel to your school in the name of rock and roll.
The generation that put a hole in the ozone. Hairspray at 8 on Decades.
Tell you about this lady. Such tender eyes, such a sweet
Decades. Joe E. Kramer here. Hairspray at 8 is on, and Winger, Madeline. They're actually a great band. In concert, they are one of the best performing bands when you see them live. I mean, their songs sound exactly like they do on their records. That's the thing. A lot of the metal bands from the 80s, as they call it, hair metal, they didn't get a lot of credit for how good of musicians most of them were, including Kip Winger, who's into like the whole classical scene. In fact, on his Facebook, he was celebrating Igor Stravinsky's 50th anniversary of his death, and he says it is the composer that has influenced him the most. I don't know, you don't probably hear Igor Stravinsky on Madeline, but you know. All right. We got more decades, more Hairspray at 8. We're coming up. We're going to get one or two more on here after the break. Then we're into the 9 o'clock hour, and then we have our Decades Artist Spotlight. We're going to salute Pac-Man. Well, Pac-Man Fever and Jerry Buckner of Buckner and Garcia will be with us. We'll talk about Pac-Man and a whole lot more. Don't go anywhere. This is Decades. We are live everywhere in the world. Decades at joeykramer.com, the Radio Bold app, to your iPhone or Android device, and of course, right here on the river. 105 and 103.5. Hang on.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
It's 9 o'clock.
Hey, everybody, this is Ivan from Men Without Hats. Hi, everyone, this is Russell Hitchcock of Air Supply.
I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you. I know you were right, believing for so long.
Hey, everybody, it's Robert Mason from Warren.
Heaven isn't too far away. Love so till it ever begins.
And you're listening to Decades.
You're listening to Decades. Let's all hang out with Joey Kramer on Decades.
This is the Decades Artist Spotlight. Now, here's Joe E. Kramer with this week's artist.
We are on a Decades Artist Spotlight. Great to be back with one again. And Brian Reed, by the way, is still working on that one. Brian's recovering from some unexpected surgery, and we will have that interview on real soon. But tonight, Jerry Buckner, I've had him on before. Always a great talk. And who doesn't love Pac-Man Fever? I mean, does anybody not love Pac-Man Fever? Let's get it going. The Atari game was horrible, but the arcade game was my life. Pac-Man Fever.
I got a pocket full of quarters and I'm headed to the arcade. I don't have a lot of money, but I'm bringing everything I made. I got a callus on my finger and my shoulder's hurting too. I'm gonna eat them all up just as soon as they turn blue. 'Cause I got Pac-Man fever.
'cause I got Pac-Man fever. It's driving me crazy. I got Pac-Man fever. I'm going out of my mind. I got Pac-Man fever. Driving me crazy. Pac-Man fever. I'm going out of my mind. Pac-Man fever. Driving me crazy.
This is the Decades Artist Spotlight with Joe E. Kramer. This week's artist.
We are on another Decades Artist Spotlight tonight. It's so great to have back to the show the maker of the Pac-Man Fever from Buckner and Garcia, Mr. Jerry Buckner. How you doing, Jerry?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful. How about yourself?
Fantastic. And I got the book. And I got to tell you, the Pac-Man Fever book, it's my kind of book. 50-some pages, lots of pictures.
Yeah,
and big print.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. We have people like you in mind.
Yeah, well, some of the interviews I do, I have to, they send me their book, they write a book, and the books are 500 pages long, and I read the book, and then they cancel the interview. So I think
you go, oh my gosh.
I hear that. It's a whole ploy to get me to do the book. But I read the book. The book's fantastic, talking about Pac-Man Fever. 40 years. I mean, did you ever think when this song came out in 81 that 40 years later it was still going to have the same impact?
No, it really didn't. I didn't think, 4 years afterwards, 4 minutes afterwards.
Right.
I mean, I will say this. We knew while we were doing it that it was coming together more than what we thought it would be as far as a record goes. I mean, as I've mentioned before, I probably did on the last time we talked, but
right.
I mentioned that we originally, it was an idea that we thought might help us sell some more jingles. We were doing a lot of jingles here in Atlanta, and but we wanted to make a record out of it too. But we just, it just didn't cross our minds for something like what happened would even happen. And but we did know you could sense. I remember during the session thinking to myself, "Wow, this is coming out." This is coming out pretty good. I remember thinking that. I still didn't think, though, oh, yeah, this is a big hit worldwide. I didn't think that way. No, if I were sincere. And honestly, did not think, after the initial run, within a couple of years afterwards, I thought that was it. But, boy, it's not.
Well, it's a generational thing. Everybody loves Pac-Man. And when you talk about, I remember I was, 10 years old when the song came out. I was a big Pac-Man guy. I mean, I had the Atari and everything, although Atari's version of Pac-Man wasn't exactly what we envisioned when we were standing in line for 3 hours to purchase it. But when the song came out, I said to my parents, there's a song about Pac-Man. They said, you're nuts. There's no song about Pac-Man. And before you know it, I had the album. And the album not only has Pac-Man, but it has all the every video game imaginable that was popular at that time. You had a song about.
Yeah, it all came together pretty quick, pretty fast, within about a 2.5. Well, the album part, not the single we did. I think we recorded that sometime in October, and people go, "Why don't you remember?" Well, because when you're doing that at the time, you're not thinking in terms of historical value. So, you're not. I don't remember exactly the dates, the early days when we did it, but I believe it was sometime around October, Halloween era type. But that's where we cut the single, and never dreamed there'd be an album. So we did the single, and it would be another couple of 2-3 months before we would actually do the album.
And you didn't. It wasn't. Pac-Man Fever wasn't a song that people. It took a little work to get it going too.
Well, it did, yeah, because nobody, the record companies had no idea what Pac-Man was.
Of course not.
The kids did, and the people playing it certainly did.
Right.
But nobody really, radio especially, they didn't know anything about this. But the stars lined up perfectly, and over the holidays, people visiting Florida, they heard the song because a couple stations down there, good-sized stations, decided to play it, and they got tremendous response. And a lot of these people went back up north and was requesting the song in cities up north, and so that kind of helped get it going. What really kicked it in, radio started playing the heck out of it, but when Entertainment Tonight, which was a big show at the time, it was a 7:00 show at night, one of the celebrity shows, and when they did a story on it, because TV was so big back then, you didn't have cable, it was just, you had the networks, and boy, that was it. Once that started, forget it. I mean, it was just crazy town.
And like some of the other songs, I find like not only with the book do you get, the book, but you get all these cool links and some stuff I've never heard before. And you mentioned in the book that a lot of these songs on the album were songs you already had written, and you had to go back and change the lyrics. And one of my favorite songs on the album, Going Berserk. And then when I heard With a Girl Like You, and I'm like, wow, this is incredible.
Oh, so you know the difference. Yeah, you know the difference. Yeah.
This is incredible. But did you have to do that with all the songs? Because I know you did.
No, just two. We just did with two. Because we'd spent a lot of money. We had started on the album, and we thought it was going to be, a regular album, and we had done two songs already. And then when the CBS VP came to town to check on things, and he said, no, we want all game songs. And that, we had a big to-do over that for a couple of days, but we gave in. So we said, hey, we've spent a lot of money on these two tracks, so we needed to do something with them. So we converted them, and I think they come out okay. And a lot of people, like that song especially.
It was that in Mousetrap was the other one, right? Pretty Thing?
Yeah. Yes, Mousetrap. Yeah,
it's the first time I ever heard the original songs. And all this time, I've never heard the original versions, that weren't about video games. So I thought that was extremely cool, and I saw that on the web. I'm like, that's fantastic. And they were good songs by themselves.
Well, talking about the songs, I'd like to mention something if I could, because it's just starting to happen today. I don't know. Do you know what NTFs are?
NTFs. Refresh my memory. I know the. Go ahead.
No, well, NTFs. It's more of a current thing. It's non-fungible tokens. I'm talking about.
Oh.
People are buying artwork and music using cryptocurrency. And buying music and so forth. And we were asked by a company, they wanted to start an auction with some Pac-Man Fever stuff. And so we did, and they asked us if we would do a special limited edition special version of the song, but make it about NFTs, and they call them nifties, is kind of a slang term what people are calling it. So we've done that. It's only available through the auction, and the auction is through songvest.com. And they're doing a week of promotion starting today, and then the auction will start next Thursday. It only lasts a week, but we're going to have 5 versions of Pac-Man Fever, the original, and 5 of this new version. And if it works out, we're going to have other stuff up there coming up to auction, memorabilia that people can buy with with Bitcoin or whatever you want to use. And I just wanted to mention that because I think it's pretty cool that people can do that now. It's another way to buy stuff.
Things have changed. Day by day, things just change with all the different technology. It's think about recording an album now and recording an album back when you did Pac-Man Fever. I mean, even the sound effects. I mean, I know you said last time you had to bring in like a toy gun for sound effects.
And my son, he got it for Christmas that year. It was some kind of a space gun.
Right.
I've tried to look up pictures and try to refine. Of course, the gun itself is gone. I wish I had it, but Gary was over at the apartment. This was during that period when we were recording songs and everything, and he happened to come over. We took a little time out for Christmas, and he and his wife, we got together for a little bit, and he saw the gun. He goes, "Hey, let's put that on the record." I said, "You sure?" Yeah, And so we took it to the studio and we put it on there. We thought it would be funny to do.
And one version, I talk about this every time I talk to you. I never the unplugged version of Pac-Man Fever that was on the original Now and Then.
Oh yeah.
Does it exist?
Yeah, we still have copies. I don't know if it's available to purchase, but
I would love to play the acoustic version of Pac-Man Fever. I've looked for it.
I'll get it to you. I'd be happy for you to have it.
I mean, it's just I've always talked about with you that I love acoustic versions, and I can only imagine. I mean, the country version of Pac-Man Fever was one thing, and I didn't even know that existed.
Oh, that was a strange deal. Yeah, everything was so crazy at that time, and somebody said, "Hey, we should do a country version," and so we had a friend that we brought in to do that, and we did it, and it came out and everything, And I think it was Capitol Records. They were ready. They wanted to buy it and put it out. I mean, everything was set. But our manager decided, he said, you know what? I think this is a bad idea because he said, I'm afraid that people may mistake this song for our hit song. Even though we own the publishing and everything, it's not going to make the same money as we have with the deal with CBS Records. And he said, I think they'll confuse it. He said, I think we need to pull it. And we really hated to do that, but we did, because I'm sure it would have been it would have been done very well country too, probably at the time, but that's what happened. So it got pulled. They had pressed up a few records on their little local label to test it out, and a few people have those. I didn't have any. A guy sent me a copy, a DJ that said, "Hey, I got one of these." Sent it to me, so I got one. But a few records went out. But yeah, that's a rare record, and it was painful for the guy that sang it. He was thinking, "Hey, I'm gonna get a hit here, and have some money," but they pulled it.
And everybody who listens to my show, I've known for the last 16 years I've done this show, I don't just play Pac-Man Fever. Froggy's Lament is always a big song on my show. I play that. Going Berserk, I play. Ode to a Centipede, I play. They're my favorites on the album. And do you have a favorite? Is there a song other than Pac-Man? Other than Pac-Man Fever?
Oh,
and Do the Donkey Kong. That's the big one. Do the Donkey Kong.
Yeah, dude, I like all the songs. Well, I'm not wild about the Mousetrap song. A lot of people like that because I like the original song. But my favorite song on the album of the album cuts, aside from Pac-Man, my favorite song is "Ode to a Centipede." It's always kind of been my favorite because I think it's real melodic.
Right.
I love the guitar lead that comes in at the end.
Right.
And Gary, he sang a great job on it. But I just love the instrumentation. I love all that, and that's the one I love to listen to. If I pull the album out for something or come across it or the song, I like to listen to that. In fact, I talked to Chris Bowman the other day who played guitar on that song, and we were just yakking about some stuff. And I told him, I said, I have to tell you again how much I loved your solo on that thing. It was just, and I remember we took 3-4 hours to do that solo. I mean, almost note by note. Chris was a great guitar player, but Gary was, when we produced together, but he kind of leaned a little bit more on the guitars because he played guitar, and so he kind of would supervise that, and he just wanted it perfect. But I love that guitar lead. Yeah, Ode to Centipede, Donkey Kong. I love Donkey Kong, but I also like Frogger song. I think that that was supposed to, the argument between we wanted Froggers as a second single, but the label wanted Donkey Kong, and I understand that. I mean, it was a pretty cool pop song, but a lot of people love Frogger. They all thought it should have been the second single.
Yeah, those 5 songs made the album worth purchasing. And the thing is about these songs is, and I talk about this a lot, there was a lot of time put into them. You could tell them they were produced very well. It wasn't just a matter of you making up a bunch of lyrics about a video game, putting it to a song, and releasing it. All the songs were put together really, really well.
I appreciate you saying that, and it's true. We approached it that way. We approached it because we were pop songwriters. We were writing tons of songs at the time, had a lot of other stuff. So when we decided to do this, we said, let's start with a song that we think would be a good pop song on its own, but we understand it's going to contain, some sound effects and all that. But let's try to make the song have some, be able to stand on its own. And we felt like we did that on pretty much all of them. And you're right. We didn't want to just throw things in there, especially on Pac-Man Fever, because there was a lot of, I don't know if you remember, but there was a lot of songs people put out. They were crummy. I mean, I'm just being honest. Most of them were not very good songs to put out, but there was a bunch of them about Pac-Man. But I know our good friend Yankovic, Al Yankovic.
We're Al Yankovic, yeah.
We had the drummer that played in our group. It played on the record, Jenny Whitaker. Jenny ended up in California a couple of years after, working for a label and some management people, and she got to know him. And he told her, because he put out a parody song, he put out with a Beatles song, something about Pac-Man or something, and he told her that we only because we were first that his wasn't a hit and all this stuff. I'm like, oh, come on, Al. I mean, give me a break.
Well,
the song, it's a great freaking record, and yours was a parody, which is different. A parody's different,
Well, I like to think I helped it climb the charts because I remember the first 45 of God of Pac-Man Fever skipped during the guitar part. And I was so mad because I got the 45, and every time I got to that guitar part, it skipped. And used to put like coins on top of the turntable arm. Sometimes that would help. So the only way I could get through the guitar part is if I had coins on top of the arm for the needle, because it would skip every time. So then I just went out and I bought the album.
Oh, great! Well,
and the album never skipped. The album never skipped.
Yeah, we did that on purpose to sell albums.
That's
no one's ever said that before. That's amazing because CBS had high quality records at the time. I wish I'd known. We'd have sent you another one for free.
The centipede multiplies and divides and comes after you from every side. Faster and faster, row by row, he strikes through the rocks to get you from below. Oh, centipede, you can't run away. You can't run away. You can't run. You can't hide. I'm coming to get you. Here I come. The centipede twists and bends. The spiders are his only friends. If you can get them before they get you, they go back to the top and you start on Act 2. Oh, centipede, you can't run away. You can't run away. You can't get away, little centipede. I'm right behind you. Don't try hiding behind the mushrooms. I see you. The centipede multiplies and divides and comes after you from every side. Faster and faster, row by row, he strikes through the rocks to get you from below. Oh, centipede, you can't run away. You can't run away. The spiders can't help you now. I'm gonna get you. Go ahead, run your little legs off. Do you have Nikes for all of them? I understand now. You want to play hide and seek, don't you? I'll play with you. Come out wherever you are. Come here, little centipede. I'm gonna chase you down now.
It is the Decades Artist Spotlight. Oh, to the centipede, Buckner and Garcia.
This week's Decades Artist Spotlight continues. Now, here's Joe E. Kramer with this week's artist.
You know, if you didn't grow up and you're listening to this on the radio right now, you're probably thinking, what is that? But Buckner and Garcia, I mean, Pac-Man Fever came out. That's all we did was go to the arcades. I mean, that's what you did. Even when roller skating, you're in the arcade. You went, you know, to a place like Top Dog around here. You know, you went to the arcade. Everywhere. You went to the beach, you went to the arcade. And Pac-Man still, to this day, is in all those arcades, as well as Centipede. All right, we'll get back to the second part of my interview with Jerry Buckner coming up in a minute. Don't go anywhere. It's Decades, the Decades Artist Spotlight. Live around the world, Decades at joeykramer.com. The radio-bold app for your iPhone or Android device. And right here on the river, 105 and 103.5. Don't go anywhere. Part 2 coming up next.
This is the Decades Artist Spotlight.
Northeast PA's the river. Come on.
This week's Decades Artist Spotlight continues. Now, here's Joe E. Kramer with this week's artist.
We're under the Decades Artist Spotlight. Jerry Buckner with us. And let's get back to part 2 of my conversation with Jerry Buckner of Buckner Garcia, Pac-Man Fever, and more right here on the Decades Artist Spotlight. Your partner, Gary, passed away in 2011. You're approached to do Wreck-It Ralph, which we've talked about before. How did that all come about? And I mean, you got a lot of people who worked on Pac-Man Fever back in the studio with you again to do the Wreck-It Ralph theme.
Yeah, well, I got a call from Disney one day, and the music director there at Disney said to me, we have this movie coming out called Wreck-It Ralph, and I didn't know anything about it. And he explained to me, what the movie was about and all that so forth. And he said, we have this song, and we would like, we came up with it kind of at a late time here. He said, the movie is going to come out in November, and this was like, I think July. And he said, but we've got this song, and we would really like you guys to do it, if you would do it. And so, it's Disney. Who wouldn't want to do it?
Right.
So I said, yeah, we would love to do it. I said, but I have to explain to you that my partner passed away, and he sang the lead on it. And so there was a moment of silence, and then the gentleman said, well, he said, can somebody else sing it? And I said, well, yeah. I said, I just, need to let you know that it wouldn't be exactly, So, but I said, we can, certainly deliver an excellent record to you. So he said, well, let's do it. He said, let's do it. So I said, okay. So they sent one of their a producer they had in L.A. to come out to really to babysit, to keep track of how we were doing things. And I didn't know how that would work out, but he's a really nice guy, and we're still friends today. We became good friends. But anyway, he came in, and we put it together, and it come out really well. Danny Jones sang it, did a great job. Danny's been around, a friend of Gary and I's for a million years, a drummer, a great writer himself and producer and great singer. And it come out, really good. Disney was very happy with it. And, so the whole thing worked out, but that's how it came about. They barely had time to get it in the movie. It's supposed to be in the beginning of the movie, but they ran out of time because, movies, they take years to make those movies.
Right.
And to put a song in a movie when it's going to come out in 2 months is, almost unheard of. But they really wanted it in there and wanted us to do it. So it got in the movie, but it wasn't in the beginning, unfortunately.
And I know this is usually hush-hush, but has Disney ever approached you to do anything else after Wreck-It Ralph?
No. We've had many conversations about things, and Tom McDougall, who is still there, the guy that heads over the music department there, and Tom and I have become good friends. And he said, "Look, when it makes sense for something, we'll do it." Because I asked him when they did the second movie, I talked to him about it prior to that. He said, it's a different kind of movie, and it was. I mean, it wouldn't have made any sense having that song really in there again. But he said, hey, we want to work with you again. We love you guys, and everything come out great. So we're friends, and maybe something else will come along, and we would work with him. But right now, it's just haven't secured any new projects with him.
Obviously, aside from Pac-Man Fever, there were a lot of songs, real quick, that you've done through the years that I play on my show, E.T. I Love You, which, of course, really good. My one favorite is Merry Christmas in the NFL. And,
yeah, that was a wild record, yeah. E.T. I Love You, I don't know if I mentioned before when we talked, that really was a song had to do with my golden retriever that passed away. And it was, I love that dog like crazy, which, we all love our dogs, and I love that dog. And she got sick right around the time we were, right after the album was done and everything that summer. And I was just, really devastated by it. And I had just, worked out a little song on piano just to work through my grief, a song about her, just for myself, not for, I didn't do it for any other reason. And then when we decided that we wanted to do something on the E.T. thing, and if you remember, that movie was so huge. So such an impact.
Another video game, I waited in line for hours to get it, and it was a disappointment.
That was a real. But anyway, so we used that song on E.T. But yeah, that game, it was so horrible.
It was.
I think now, isn't it like to have one of those is like a classic now, I guess.
Yeah, they always say they buried like hundreds of thousands of them in the desert because Atari bought too many. And
they were awful. I mean, they just, and I remember when the Pac-Man game came out, like you said, it was
wonk, 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 wonk.
It was, we were all desperate for something for at home. It was pretty rough, pretty rough.
It was. But Merry Christmas in the NFL, the other one, I know you said last time, Howard Cosell did not like it.
That's what we understood, that he was not real pleased about it. And we were hoping that they would mention it or play a piece of it during halftime. In fact, one of the games we were told that there's talk they may play it tonight on halftime. And I'm sitting there, my heart's palpitating, and of course they didn't play it. It was very disappointing, but I think it's because he just, I don't know. Howard, I mean, he was kind of a character, and I guess it just hit him wrong, I guess.
And I'm trying not to go backwards here, but I got to mention WKRP in Cincinnati. You were part of that in the 70s, and that was...
We were a part of that, yeah.
Who doesn't know that song?
Steve Carlisle sang the original version for the TV show, and when they were doing shows back then, they would only do... they would do just an intro amount, which might, length might go a minute long, and that was it. They didn't do full songs. In fact, that kind of started after KRP. I think had a little bit of influence on that. Really the same thing with E.T. in movies. Nobody was doing merchandising then, and it got big after that with E.T. But anyway, to get back to the song, Steve had the show was based on a radio station here in Atlanta. There was an advertising guy here. And Hugh Wilson was his name, and Hugh went out to California and got involved in all that, and was able to pitch this idea, and it came to they were able to get it on TV, and so he had worked with Steve on commercial jingles here in Atlanta, so he had Steve sing the theme song for the TV show. Well, we got a deal for Steve with a major label to do some of our songs because they liked some of the songs that we were doing, so they didn't know about the KRP thing. They had bought the act based on our songs and all that. And when they found out about that, they said, "Hey man, we need to do one. We need to do that song, KRP." And we said, "Well, it's only 45 seconds long, or a minute. Well, can you guys complete a song?" We said, "Yeah." So we helped complete the song and helped write the full version of it. And then we played on it. I played the little lead piano part. Gary played the guitar part, I think, in there. And we re-recorded it here in Atlanta with Steve singing it, same guy, original guy. And they put it out, and somebody got the brilliant idea to, at the end where it says, WKRP Cincinnati, at the very end, where it ends. They said, "Hey, can we get that for our radio station?" I remember Gary said, "Oh man, are you kidding me?" So he stood in the studio one afternoon, and he must have done 150 of those, for radio stations. And I'd love to hear some copies of the different ones. But
they used to do that a lot, especially that in the 70s, but even in the 80s. If there was something with a city, they'd always have the different radio stations get tagged in it with their city. I remember that happening.
There was a song, and you're too young to remember this, but there was a song came out in the early days of rock and roll, and it was called High School USA or something like that. And the gimmick in it was just a 3-chord rock and roll song. It was a good song, good record. But the main gimmick was they would mention high schools, and I'm not sure where it originated. I think in California, and they had some of the high schools mentioned in the song, actual schools. Well, you know what happened? Everybody wanted to have their version with high schools of their city. I don't know how many of those they ever did. I know they had one, I think, in Cleveland, Akron area. But I just thought, boy, those poor people having to go in and do all those schools.
Even in the 90s, when I first started in radio, like 91, there was a song in the mid-90s by Sir Mix-a-Lot called Jump On It. And it would yell out the cities. It would say, New York, come on, jump. And we ended up getting one done here locally. And he was doing it for hundreds of cities, redoing the song and having all the different... it was to the beat of Apache by the Sugar Hill Gang from like 1980, but... I can remember how many different versions you would hear across the country when that song was out, and God knows how long it took in the studio to do that.
Oh yeah, I mean, believe me, some people got worn out and probably didn't get a nickel for it. I mean, the record companies come in and say, "Hey, we got to do this, because it helps sell records." Well, Yeah, but I mean, is it going to sell enough to compensate for some poor soul standing there singing for 3 hours?
I know.
I mean, no,
I know.
But that's the business, You do a lot of that stuff for free,
Well, before we wrap things up here, one last question. I guess the last newer things I heard other than Wreck-It Ralph was Keeping the Dream Alive. I know you remember that one a few years back.
Sure.
How many years ago was that? Keeping a Dream Alive. That was.
It must have been around 2011, maybe 2010,
yeah, it was about
2011.
Is there new stuff in the future? What are you keeping your time occupied with now?
I mean, we can't have any actual new things with Gary passed away,
right.
But as far as with Gary, now we got a couple tracks. I've got several tracks with Gary that are regular songs, and I think most of them have found their way onto the internet one way or the other. But we still got a couple things. We did a song several years ago that probably the last thing that Gary and I did together, probably even before. I don't know if this may have been before the Keeping the Dream Alive, but it was close. But we did a thing about that I can't think of the game Crazy Birds. What was it? What's the
Angry Birds?
Angry Birds.
Angry
yeah,
Birds.
Listen to me, crazy,
angry. It doesn't matter.
We did a song on that. It was really good, but we could never get our management people could never get them to return any kind of communication, emails, phones, to try to work out a deal. And it just sat there. And our attorney said, you can't put it out. If you do, you're going to open yourself up to a lawsuit, because we use some of the sound effects from the game in there. And so it never went out. And that has never, ever been released anywhere. And I've wanted to let it out for people to hear, because it was probably, I think, certainly the last commercial thing that Gary and I did together. And it was really good. But I don't know. I'd hate to get sued. We don't want to get sued from, but it's pretty good. Maybe we'll figure out a way we can do it, where if we don't, I think if we just put it out and don't have any kind of, not any way of retailing it or making money from it, just put it out for free. And maybe I don't know if they could do anything, but I'd like to put it out sometime so people could hear it. But we got other songs. Now, as far as Danny, Danny and I have done a couple of new songs. We did a song that come out just incredible, called At the Old Arcade, and got a video with it. And it's a song about, a guy talking about, meeting a girl he liked back during that day, and just talking about those days. And it's kind of a Hall & Oates kind of a thing.
Right.
And it's really a cool song, really cool. I hope we were hoping people might like it. And it's got some, people listen to it, but we just haven't, we didn't put a ton of money into promoting it. But if you go on YouTube, you can probably find it, Buckner and Garcia, or it might be Buckner and Jones. But if you go on there, you can find it At the Old Arcade, and it's I think it's one of the better songs that I ever had a part of writing.
We're at a Decades Artist Spotlight. Jerry Buckner with us tonight from Buckner and Garcia. As always, it's fantastic, reminiscing about Pac-Man fever and everything else. It's great talking to you again, Jerry. Oh,
listen, great. Anytime you want to talk, invite me back, and go check out those. Go check out BucknerandGarcia.com, and go check out Songvest.com and see about the NTF auction. And grab a book while you're at it.
Absolutely grab the book, because the book is a fantastic and an easy read too. Thanks a lot, Jerry. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, my friend. Hey, Jerry Buckner here from Buckner and Garcia, Pac-Man Fever, listening to Joe E. Kramer on Decades Radio Show.
One step at a time. The way that he moves has no reason to rhyme. He hops and jumps, dodges and ducks, cars and buses, vans and trucks. Go, Froggy, go. You gotta keep on hopping till you get to the top. Go, Froggy, go. You gotta keep on hopping, you can never stop. Go, Froggy, go. Hiya, kids. Froggy takes one step at a time. The way that he moves has no reason to rhyme. There's snakes and insects, otters and things. At times I wish Froggy had wings. Go, Froggy, go. You gotta keep on hopping till you get to the top. Go, Froggy, go. You gotta keep on hopping, you can never stop. Go, Froggy, go. Froggy takes one step at a time. The way that he moves again. Guess for old Froggy, you'd sink or swim. Go, Froggy, go. You gotta keep on hopping till you get to the top. Go, Froggy, go. You gotta keep on hopping, you can never stop. Go, go, Froggy, go. Ribbit. Froggy takes one step at a time. The way that he moves has no reason to rhyme. He rides on the logs all the way to the top and into his cage with one final hop. Go, Froggy, go. You gotta keep on hopping till you get to the top. Go, Froggy, go. You gotta keep on hopping, you can never stop. Go, go, Froggy, go. Pluck your magic twanger, Froggy. You gotta keep on hopping till you get to the top. Go, Froggy, go. You gotta keep on hopping, you can never stop. Go, go, Froggy, go. Go, Froggy, go. You gotta keep on hopping till you get to the top. Go, Froggy, go. You gotta keep on hopping, you can never stop. Go, go, Froggy, go. Go, Froggy, go.
It is the Decades Artist Spotlight.
This is the Decades Artist Spotlight with Joe E. Kramer. This week's artist.
Oh, Jerry Buckner joining us in the Decades Artist Spotlight tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Check it out online, decadeswithjoekramer.com. Always great having Jerry on the show. Always great conversation. We got more decades coming up. Don't go anywhere. We got the Bangles. And, of course, forget about the Bangles because we got Singing with the Sam straight ahead. You're going to love it tonight, trust me. Right here, Decades, around the world, decadeswithjoekramer.com. Radio bold app for your iPhone or Android device, and, of course, on the river. 105 and 103.5. Hang on.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
It's 10 o'clock.
Hey, this is Jason Bueller with Saigon Kick.
Love is on the way. I can see it in your eyes. Let's give it one more try tonight.
Hey there, peeps. This is John Farris from InXS.
Every single one of us, the devil inside.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mark. Hey, this is Brian.
And this is KT from Color Me Bad. And you're listening to Decades.
And you're listening to Decades.
You listen to Decades with Joey Kramer. Check it out.
This is where the past comes alive. Decades with Joe E. Kramer starts now.
Rolling 5 full hours of retro radio every Saturday night. Watching a New Edition story. Bobby Brown broke up that group. Well, he left the group anyway, but he's a man band when he was in that group. Calm down. He's had a tough life, really. Don't be cruel. It's Decades.
Girl, the only thing that matters in my life is that I'm down for you and treat you right. You've got no call to treat me cold as ice. Oh, girl, as long as I've been giving my love to you, you should be giving me your love too. You just never satisfied.
You're into decades.
Close your eyes, give me your hand, darling. Do you feel my heart beating? Do you understand? Do you feel the same? Am I only dreaming? Is this burning an eternal flame? I believe it's meant to be, darling. I watch you when you are sleeping. You belong with me. Do you feel the same? Am I only dreaming? Or is this burning an eternal flame? Say my name. Sun shines through the rain. The whole life so lonely, and then come and ease the pain.
Kramer. Joe E. Kramer. Turn it up. This is Decades.
All right, get ready, get set, because coming up in less than 3 minutes, Sam and I take to the mic and another rendition of Singing with the Sam. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. It's James and Lane.
This bed is on fire with passion and love. The neighbors complain about the noises above, but she only comes when she's on top. My therapist said not to see you no more. She said you're like a disease without any cure. She said I'm so obsessed that I'm becoming a bore. Oh no, I think you're so pretty. Caught your hand inside the till, slammed your fingers in the door, bought kitchen knives and skewers. Dressed me up in women's clothes, messed around with gender roles, blind my eyes and called me pretty. Moved out of the house, so you moved next door. I locked you out, you cut a hole in the wall. I found you sleeping next to me, I thought I was alone. You're driving me crazy, when are you coming home?
It is Decades. James Lane from 95. Oh, are you ready? Are you set? The greatest hits just roll on. And another version, another rendition, another award-winning, it should be award-winning, version of Singing with the Sam. Let's do it.
Now it's time for Singing with the Sam. She got fired from her day job at the donut joint. Now here's Joe E. Kramer and the Sam.
Welcome, welcome. It is another edition of Singing with the Sam and the Falco. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy.
Oh, he brought his whoopee.
He brought his whoopee. See, my the other daughter is
She has a speech.
she has a speech in class. So my German Shepherd is locked in the studio with us while we record this segment for Decades.
He's going to be a pain the whole time.
What are you doing? He's carrying his pillow around.
I don't know where he went. It's not a big area.
120-pound German Shepherd who carries around a whoopee in his mouth.
And a little teddy bear.
And a teddy bear.
He loves his teddy bear.
And the teddy bear. Both of them get. So, the Sam, what's going on this week?
Nothing much.
No new and exciting news? I had to read you something, though. Where
What
if I
are you
could find
reading me
it.
now?
Where is it?
I feel like my ears won't pop.
I'm looking for it. Where is it? Oh, my
Ow.
God.
Falco, okay.
Oh, here it is. Since you work in the news, I figured
Why was that a quote? I do
just saying.
work at the news station.
And since you work in the news,
Why are you putting quotes around that?
I'm just telling you. Anthony Peoples is a well-known chief meteorologist in Illinois, affiliate WAND-TV. It's because he walks around town a lot. Now, you got a picture. What's your weather guy's name?
Josh, Logan, and Sammy.
Okay. So, you got a picture, say, Sam Saporito.
It's not her name, but okay.
I know. Walking around with this, okay? He walks around. Now, that's not remarkable. If not for the fact that he reads books while he's walking. He walks all around town. He does it in all kinds of weather, and he claims that he's aware of his surroundings, so he's not walking into traffic or off cliffs or into walls.
Off cliffs?
Off cliffs. That's what it said. It says it's an America's Funniest Home Video submission waiting to happen. He's known around town not only as the chief meteorologist for this TV station. Could you picture like Josh Odell walking around
No.
with a book fixture microphone?
I don't know what to do. Every time I touch it, it falls over. I don't know what
Anyway,
to do.
we're on like a great...
What do you want me to do?
No, you're good.
I moved it.
We're in a greatest hits mode for Singing with the Sound. You got to close your eyes.
So I have no idea what we're doing again.
No idea what you're singing. So close.
We agreed on this last night. I played like 15 songs for you.
I know, but we're gonna do something
Is it
different.
any of the 15 songs?
It's none of the 15 songs we talked about.
Of course it isn't.
No, it's
He
none
yells
of...
at me for 10 minutes. Pick a song.
Why are you not talking into the mic
What do you
again?
mean?
Now
told
you
me,
are.
You told me to close my eyes.
Okay.
I don't know where I am.
Are you ready to go?
My eyes are still
Are
closed.
you ready?
I don't know where
Here
I'm
we
at.
go. Singing with the Sam. This is the greatest hits continues.
Can I open my eyes yet?
Not yet. Do you know it? Ah, yes. The greatest hits continue. I swashbuckled her into doing another song. Swashbuckled.
Making up words.
We're going to do Bon Jovi. And Wanted Dead or Alive. I went through a lot of different songs thinking what we were going to do, and it's just...
And none of them that I picked. But that's
Yeah,
okay.
But you know this one, so...
Yeah.
After last week's disaster.
What do you mean? What did we sing last week? We
I
did
don't
really
even-
well. Mamma Mia, we did well.
Oh, that's right. We didn't do bad.
That
All
was
right,
a
here we go.
disaster.
Sing with the Sam in 3, 2, 1. It's all the same. Only the names change every day. It seems we're wasting away.
Another place where the faces are so cold. I drive all night just to get back home.
I'm a cowboy. I'm a steel horse I ride. I'm wanted.
Dead or alive.
Wanted.
Wanted.
Dead or alive.
Well, he doesn't do that until later.
Well, that's why I
Well,
wanted
you're just
to.
yeah, but you're making stuff
This
up.
is our version. We can
Well, you
add
have to
whatever.
warn me.
We can add whatever
Well,
we want.
I didn't know we were making stuff up.
And
My
3,
bad. Falco
2.
seems confused.
Sometimes I sleep. Sometimes it's not the days. The people I meet always go their separate ways.
Sometimes you tell the day by the bottle that you drink. Times when you're all alone, all you do is think.
I'm a cowboy. I'm a steel horse I ride. I'm wanted.
Wanted.
Dead or alive. Wanted.
Wanted.
Dead or alive. You know, it works when you hold your headphones. and
Oh, you
sing.
mean that? Okay,
I
I'll do
know.
that. Ow, Falco doesn't like that.
Falco's licking me. Okay, here we go. I'm licking you. You hold your headphones like
All
they
right,
do
I'm
it.
sorry.
Oh, and I ride. Come here, Falco.
Ah!
Bark. Yeah.
You almost knocked over the lamp.
That's okay. And then I grab my cans. I'm a cowboy. I'm a steel horse I ride.
I'm wanted.
Wanted.
Dead or alive.
I want these streets. A loaded 6-string on my back. I play for keeps. 'Cause I might not make it back.
I've been everywhere. Still I'm standing tall. I've seen a million faces.
That was awesome. It really is. We never did this song either.
We did this song.
We did this song?
I don't know what song that is.
I don't think we ever did this song here.
I don't.
Right here.
Oh, no, we haven't done that song. What are we doing, a double feature?
I'm just looking here. You know what song it is, right?
Yes.
Oh, it is awesome.
It's a meme.
I could do another one like... I gotta hold my cans. Ready?
Hold your cans.
25 years and my life is still trying to get up that great big hill of hope
For a destination.
Anyway.
That's a meme online.
It's a what?
It's a meme.
It's a meme. Look at that good look at that good puppy dog. If we were only live right now, you'd be able to see what
He just sat down next to me smiling.
how good he is. Okay, news of the day.
You little puppy.
Divorce between Kim Kardashian and Mr. Kanye West apparently is all but decided as irreconcilable differences. And not only
I'm sure they'll get back together.
there'll be no spousal support from either side, and since they kept their property separate during the marriage because of the prenup, there will be no arguments to take to court. And their 4 children, aren't there 4 children like east, south, north, and west?
Something like that.
Anyway, and their 4 children will be okay since Kim is now a billionaire thanks to her makeup, shapewear, and mobile apps. And Kanye's partnership with Adidas, Gap, and Yeezy have him putting away between 3.2 and 4.7. If Kim Kardashian could be wealthy and rich and successful, anybody could.
Yeah, what is she known for? What did she do before?
She's known for being a Kardashian. That's what she's known for.
Oh, so she wasn't anything like
No.
before?
She didn't work her way up through the system and
She
say,
just
no.
kind of was born into it?
She's not like a Shark Tank person.
Ah.
No, none of that stuff. I mean, it's
Shark
great.
Tank person.
I'm just saying. Just saying.
What were we talking about earlier?
Oh, the weatherman?
No, we were talking about something. Weren't we talking about something at breakfast?
Oh, we were talking about today's, this week in history.
Oh,
Like,
right.
The Titanic went down. Abraham Lincoln was shot. It's a bad week in history. A lot of stuff happened on the week of April 12th.
I know. I wonder what's coming our way.
It was a very crazy week.
And you said it's been what since the last one?
Well, there
How
was
many
no.
years?
You were trying to set a year precedent between them, and there wasn't.
No,
Some
I'm not
happened.
setting a year precedent. What was the movie that we were watching with Nicolas Cage and his kid was writing all the numbers?
I have no idea. Numbers?
Knowing.
Knowing.
Remember, and he wrote all the numbers.
I don't think that has anything to do with it.
Oh my gosh! You have to go look at that movie and see if there's any
I
numbers.
don't
for
think
this.
that. Okay, here I got some useless facts before
Here
we go.
What is that picture?
It's a mouth.
Why?
Now listen carefully.
I'm listening.
If you could count from 1 to 1,000,000, your lips won't touch until you reach 1,000,000.
I gotta take a breath in between.
Your lips will not
3,
touch.
4,
1,
5.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I think they touched on 5.
No, your lips.
1.
5. Not 5.
1,
5.
2, 3.
I knew that would keep her
4,
busy.
5.
Here, I want you to try to breathe and swallow at the same time.
No, I'll choke.
Go ahead, try it.
And I can't.
I know, you can't. You cannot breathe. Everybody out there, try it now. Breathe and swallow at the same time. Tell your grandparents to do it.
Hi, Grandma. Hi, Grandpa.
It is impossible to hum while holding your nose. No, you can't do it. Every U.S. state shares a letter with the word mackerel, except for Ohio.
Wait, what?
Every state in the United States share a letter with the word mackerel, M-A-C-K-E-R-E-L.
That's a dumb fact.
Except for Ohio.
That's a dumb fact, I think.
So what's the longest word you can type on the top row of your keyboard is?
40.
Typewriter.
Oh, I just went across the top. Did you know that?
You can't stand backwards on stairs. I don't understand what that is.
What do you mean you can't stand backwards on stairs? Because there is no backwards, because it's always up and down.
Oh, yeah!
That was like
good.
a Fozzie Bear thing.
That was, aha! Every Fruit Loop tastes the same. The color doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
Every Fruit Loop
No,
thing.
they don't.
A purple one doesn't taste great.
Yeah, it tastes different though.
They don't. They taste the
I
same.
disagree with that one.
They don't.
They do.
If you put your finger in your ear and
I've
scratch,
done this. We used to do
it
this in
sounds
school.
just like Pac-Man.
We've done this in school all the time.
What do you do?
You do like the. we used to do.
I never noticed that.
We used to do that in school all the time.
Oh my God, that's great! I never noticed that before.
We used to do it all the time.
The letter A is not in any number from 1 to
We discussed that last week. Yeah.
Every odd number has an E. Every single odd number has an E. There is only one word in the English language that ends in MT, and that word is
dreamt.
Right.
We discussed that one too. What are these redoing?
These are just
Maybe we just discussed this like on the couch. Maybe we wouldn't discuss this.
If you could fold a piece of paper in half 42 times, it would reach to the moon.
Wait, what?
If you could fold a piece of paper in half 42 times, it would reach to the moon.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm just telling you.
I don't understand.
What's there to understand?
If I fold this in half
42 times.
Okay.
You got to keep on going. If you could.
And it'll
I don't think you can.
It won't it just be tiny?
It says
If I keep folding it in half, won't it be
it would reach to the moon.
I don't think you're reading that right.
How much? If you could fold a piece of paper
right.
in half 42 times, it would reach to the moon.
Yes, but it would be tiny. How would it reach to the moon? I don't understand. I don't think you got that one right.
The toy Barbie's full name is Barbara Millicent Roberts.
Millicent.
And do you know what Woody's real name is from Toy Story?
Woodrow Wilson?
Woody Pride.
Woody Pride.
Woody Pride. How about Cookie Monster's real name?
Oh, I don't know. I was reading about this.
Sid.
I was reading about that. Someone was talking. I was watching one of the Sesame Street behind the scenes.
Not once in the Humpty Dumpty nursery rhyme does it mention that he's an egg.
It's just assumed.
It's just assumed, so.
Humpty
All right.
Dumpty fell off the
We'll
wall.
give more
Humpty
useless
Dumpty.
facts next Saturday night.
Love our useless facts.
I love them.
Love
We have more
'em.
decades coming up. Don't go anywhere. We are live everywhere in the world. Decades at JoeyKramer.com. The radio bold out for your iPhone or Android device. And, of course, right here on the river, 105 and 103.5. Say goodbye, Falco.
Woof.
Say goodbye, Sam.
Bye.
And do not attempt to change the frequency.
Changing channels is not only foolhardy but also extremely dangerous.
We know. That's what everybody says.
So I don't believe you ought to try it.
Now, back to the music. This is Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
We got the message. I heard it on the airwaves. The politicians are
wonders always sound the best. The best, right? The Reflex. The politics of dancing right here on Decades.
It's Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
Northeast PA's the river.
You know, if you missed the interview a few weeks ago, Boy Meets Girl, we talked to them. Posted at decadeswithjoekramer.com. You can check it out there. Plus, they have a brand new EP. Very cool. Check it all out. decadeswithjoekramer.com. Waiting for a star to fall. This is Decades.
This is Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
lover with a red iPhone. Looking like a tramp, like a video bam. Demolition woman, can I be your man? Put some sugar on me. Put your sugar on me. Put some sugar on me. Put some sugar on me. I'm hot, sticking sweet, from my head to my feet. Listen, red light, yellow light, green light, go. Crazy little woman in a one-man show. Mary Queen, mannequin, rhythm of a love. Sweet dreams, every Lucetta. You got the peaches, I got the cream. Sweet to taste, exactly. Yes, I'm hot, so hot. Stick that sweet from my head to my feet. Do you take sugar? One number two. Take a bite, take it up, shake it up, break it up, break it up, break it up. Put some sugar on me. In the name of love. Put some sugar on me. Come on, fry me up. Put your sugar on me. I can't get enough. Put some sugar on me. In the name of love. Put some sugar on me. Put your sugar on me. Put some sugar on me.
Blasting out the hits. The Master Blaster. This is Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
take a break.
Bang with another verse of the chapter. Straight to the heavyweight for worse or better. Bitches in a wake crowd in vicinity. Slaying DJs with a rap capability. Listen to the jam as we go wild. Check your MC as game versatile. Me and a lady hall megatone. Rock you up in the twilight zone.
It is decade. 1991? 92 there? Two Unlimited and the Twilight Zone right here on Decade. I remember them performing at a club that I worked at. Club was called The Facade up in around there in Northeast PA. And I had a conversation with the lead singer for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then I realized didn't speak English. I have that problem all the time. But he sat there and listened to me until his manager, I think, came over and said, "You know he doesn't speak English." I said, "Oh, well." Like when I'm at home, I talk to myself most of the time. Nobody listens to me in my house anyway, so what's the difference? All right, we got more decades coming up. Don't you go anywhere. 5 hours retro radio, do it every Sunday night. Remember, Saturday night rather. And remember, check it out online, decadeswithjoeekramer.com. Also, all the links are there for our Facebook account, for our Instagram account. I have the Twitter up there, but I haven't tweeted in years. I don't know what to make of that. So. Don't go anywhere. More decades coming up. We are live everywhere in the world. Decades at joeykramer.com, the Radio Bold app, your iPhone or Android device, and right here on the river, 105 and 103.5. Hang on.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
It's 11 o'clock.
Hey there, this is John Oates. Hi, this is Jay King from Club Nouveau.
Lean on me, we are not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on.
Hey, this is Jeff Pilson from Foreigner.
You are listening to Decades with Joey Kramer.
And you're listening to Decades with Joey Kramer. And you're listening to my good pal Joe E. Kramer on Decades.
This is where the past comes alive. Decades with Joe E. Kramer starts now.
5 full hours of retro radio every single Saturday night as we roll into the 11 o'clock hour, the 80s, the 90s, and beyond. Do it every single Saturday night. Thank you so much for joining us. Check us out, Decades with joeekramer.com. Also on Facebook. The album version, which I always preferred better, Duran Duran and the Reflex.
You've gone too far this time, but I'm dancing on the Valentine. I tell you, somebody's fooling around with my chances on the danger line. I'll cross that bridge when I find it. Another day to make my stand. Oh, high time is no time for deciding if I should find a helping hand. Oh, why you gonna do? But it ain't nowhere to run. When judgment comes for you. When judgment comes for you. What you gonna do? When it ain't nowhere to hide. When judgment comes for you. Cause it's gonna come for you.
Looking it for water, easy season for Charlie. Little boo, God's got it. And I'm gonna miss everybody. I don't roll and flow like I looked at a wild flag. And play to dust and they play too deep for being sad. Little lazy I got to be. Tell me your piece of the seats, would it please? Marry me by my grand, when you can't go follow
God bless you, working on a plan to heaven. Follow the Lord on 24/7 days. God is who we praise, even though the devil's all up in my face. But he keeping me safe and in my place. Say grace to the gates of race, without a chance to face the judge. And it blesses my soul with buzz. Grudge because there's no mercy for thugs. Ooh, what can I do? It's all about the family and how we grow. Can I get a witness? Let it unfold. We live in our lives, so we turn our soul. Hell, hell.
And we're praying, we're praying, we're praying, we're praying. Every day, every day, every day, every day. And we're praying, we're praying, we're praying, we're praying. Still with lace. Now follow me, Rosto. Whether it's tell or it's seven. Come, let's go take a visit to the people that's long gone there. While he's there, terrible. Instead of keeping up with family. Exactly how many days we got lasting? While you laughing, we're passing the way. We gon' rest our souls, cause I know I'ma meet you up at the crossroad. Y'all know if I ever got love with them both thugs, baby.
This long gone, really wish you could come home. But when it's time to die, gotta go bye-bye. All the little thug could do was cry, cry. Why they kill my dog? Yeah, man, I miss my Uncle Charles, y'all. And he shouldn't be gone in front of his home. When they did, the boo was wrong. Who's so wrong? Gotta hold on, gotta stay strong. When it comes, better believe on. Gotta show that you can lean on, lean on.
Yeah, we praying, we praying, we praying, we praying. Every day, every day, every day, every day. And we praying, we praying, we praying, we praying. Every day. See you at the crossroads. 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 See you at the crossroads.
And I'm gonna miss everybody. 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 And I'm gonna miss everybody.
Living in a hateful world, sending me straight to hell. Living in a hateful world, sending me straight to hell. Living in a hateful world, sending me straight to hell. And I'm asking a good little YSI, he told me we live to
What's up with that money, y'all? See my bigger cousin was home. Somebody really wrong. Everybody wanna test us down. Getting me sneezes to the easy to fall. You know I've been sitting and cussing and telling them that they didn't win any. Wanna come again and again. Now tell me what you gonna do.
Can somebody, anybody tell me why? Can somebody, anybody tell me why? We die, we die. I don't wanna die.
So wrong.
See you at the crossroads, so you won't be lonely. So you won't be lonely. See you at the crossroads, so you won't be lonely. So you won't be lonely. See you at the crossroads, so you won't be lonely.
It is decades. The Crossroads. Bone Thugs in harmony to their mentor, the late Eazy-E. Right here on Decades.
Joey Kramer. Joey Kramer. Turn it up. This is Decades.
You know, Sebastian, not only a great singer, but a big collector, including a life-size photo of himself as Jesus. Who else would do it? Skid Row on Decades.
woke up to the sound of pouring rain. The wind would whisper and I'd think of you. And all the tears you cry, they call my name. And when you're near me, I came through. Paint a picture of the days gone by. When love went blind and you would make me see, I'd stare a lifetime into your eyes, so that I knew that you were there for me. Time after time, you were there for me. Remember yesterday, walking hand in hand, love that I seem to say. you away. 'Cause you'll always be my dream come true. Woman, darling, I love you. Remember yesterday, walking hand in hand, not that I've seen the same. I remember you through the sleepless nights, through every endless day. I wanna kiss it. I remember you. Remember yesterday, walking hand in hand, not that I've seen the same. I remember you through all the sleepless nights, through every endless day. I wanna kiss it. I remember.
Decades with Joe E. Kramer and another lost track from the 80s.
Got a heart of gold and it's trying to get hard, and I like it. I'm on a good seat, got a way to get rich.
86 or so, I guess that one came out. They had the big one, Perfect Way, off there. Cupid and the Psych, 85. So it's called Cupid and Psych, 85. They're doing a, what do you want to call it, like a abbreviated tour. The UK is starting to open up a lot, and they're allowing concerts and stuff like that, from what I hear. And this, I guess this fall, a lot of bands are starting to do some stuff, which they should be, which we gotta move on. We gotta move on at this point. That was from their album Provision, by the way, which came out in 1987. Third album from Skitty. 1988, I'm sorry, third album. But their music was really good, and they were one of these bands that a lot of people just didn't hear of, especially here in the United States. Of course, right? All right, we got more decades coming up as we head down the home stretch for a Saturday night. Don't go anywhere. Culture Beat on the way. We got Michael Jackson and a lost track from Wham! Yes. If you like to hear them, well, I'll give away the title if I say that, but it's coming up. We are live everywhere in the world, Decades with JoeEKramer.com, the Radio Bold app for your iPhone or Android device, and right here on the river, 105 and 103.5. Hang on.
Do not attempt to change the frequency.
Changing channels is not only foolhardy, but also extremely dangerous.
We know. That's what everybody says.
So I don't believe you ought to try it.
Now, back to the music. This is Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
I know what I want and I want
It's Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
Northeast PA's the river.
Breaking news. Paris Jackson has said they weren't allowed to ride the rides at Neverland unless they did their chores first. Write a book about it. Michael Jackson.
Looking out across the night, the city winks a sleepless eye. Hear her voice shake my window, sweet seducing sighs. Get me out into the nighttime, for walls won't hold me tonight. If this town is just an apple, then let me take a bite. If they say why, tell them that it's human nature. Why does it do it that way? If they say why, tell them that it's human nature. Why does it do it that way? Reaching out, touch a stranger. Electric eyes are everywhere. See that girl, she knows I'm watching. She likes the way I stare. If they say why, tell them that it's human nature. Why does it do it that way? If they say why, tell them that it's human nature. Why does it do it that way? I like living this way. I like loving this way. Looking out across the morning, the city's heart begins to beat. Reaching out, I touch her shoulder. I'm dreaming of the street. If they say why, tell them that it's human nature. Why does he do it that way? If they say why, tell them why does he do it that way? If they say why, does he do it that way? If they say does he do it that way? If they say
Decades with Joe E. Kramer. Turn it up and rip the knob off. This is Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
street. So let's the conversation to get out the way. 'Cause I feel it all fading and paling. I'm begging to drag you down with me to keep you less nailing. Yeah, I like you now, like I like you to scream if you open your mouth. I can't be responsible for quite what goes in or to care what comes out. So just pull on your hair, just pull on your power, and let's move to the beat like we know that it's over. Slip going under, slip over my shoulder. So just pull on your bass, just pull on your feel, and let's hit opening time down on Fascination Street. Just open your mouth, put on your face, put on your fear, let's hit opening time down on Fascination Street, down on Fascination Street, down on Fascination Street.
The group that if you want to be really depressed to a lot of the time, you listen to. A depressing time in the 80s. Fascination Street, The Cure, they have a new album coming out. They said it'll be lot like the stuff from the 1980s. So, and it's supposed to be the last Cure album. So we'll find out. Happy stuff you want to hear? Well, if you're a Dirty Dancing fan, the new Dirty Dancing movie has now officially been not released, but announced. Jennifer Grey will reprise her role as Baby. No word on the release date.
She's like the wind through my tree. She rides the night next to me. She leads me through moonlight, only to burn me with the sun. She's taking my heart, but she doesn't know what she's done. Feel her breath in my face, her body close to me. Can't look in her eyes, she's out of my league. Just a fool to believe I have anything she needs. She's like the wind. I look in the mirror and all I see is a young old man with only a dream. Am I just fooling myself that she'll stop the pain? Living without her, I go insane. Feel the breath in my face, her body close to me. Can't look in her eyes, she's out of my league. Just a fool to believe I am anything she needs. She's like the wind. can't look in your eyes. You're out of my league. Just a fool to believe. Just a fool to believe. She's like the wind. Just a fool to believe. Just a fool to believe. She's like the wind. Just a fool to believe. She's like the wind. Just a fool to believe. Just a fool to believe. She's like the
This is where the past comes alive. Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
My grandma and your grandma sitting by the fire. My grandma said to your grandma, I'm gonna set your flag on fire. Talking about henna, henna, waka waka wane, chicken mofino anane, chicken mofinane. Look at my king all dressed in red, waka waka wane. Bet you $5 he'll kill you dead. Chicken mofinane, talking about henna, henna, waka waka wane, chicken mofino anane, chicken mofinane. My flag boy and your flag boy sitting by the fire. My flag boy said to your flag boy, I'm gonna set your flag on fire. Talking about henna, henna, waka waka wane, chicken mofino anane, chicken mofinane, chicken mofinane. See that guy all dressed in green, waka waka wane. He's not a man, he's a love machine. Chicken mofinane, talking about henna, henna, waka waka wane. Chicken mofino anane, chicken mofinane, talking about henna, henna, waka waka wane. Chicken mofino anane, chicken mofinane, chicken mofinane. Chicken mofinane, 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 chicken mofinane.
Decades with Joe E. Kramer and another lost track from the 80s.
Well, bam, I am a man. Job on the job. You can't tell me that I'm not. Do you enjoy what you do? If not, just stop. Don't save it and rock. You got soul. You got soul. I said get on down. 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 Hey everybody, take a look at me. I've got street credibility. I may not have a job, but I have a good time with the boys that I meet down on the line. Said I don't need you, so you're gonna prove, but who asked you to? Hey jerk, you work. This boy's got better things to do. Hell, ain't never gonna work. Get down in the dirt. I choose to cruise. Gonna live my life sharp as a knife. I found my groove and I just can't lose. A1 style from head to toe. A cool cat flash gonna let you know. I'm a soul boy, I'm a dough boy. Takes pleasure in leisure, I believe in joy. You can tell me that I'm not. Do you enjoy what you do? If not, just stop. Don't say that and rock. Party nights and neon lights. We hit the floors, we hit the heights. Dancing shoes and pretty girls. Boys and leather kiss, girls and pearls. Hot damn, everybody, let's play. So they promised you a good job. No way. 1, 2, 3, rap. Come on, everybody, don't need this clap. You can tell me that I'm not. Do you enjoy what you do? If not, just stop. Don't say that and rock. If you're a pub man or a club man, maybe a jet black guy with a hip hop vibe, a white cool cat with a trilby hat, maybe leather and studs is the way you act. Make the most of every day. Don't let hard times stand in your way. Give a wham, give a bam, but don't give a damn, 'cause the benefit gang are gonna pay. Now reach up high and touch your soul. The boys from Wham will help you reach that goal. It's gonna break your mama's heart. It's gonna break your daddy's heart. But you throw the dice and take my advice, 'cause I know that you're smart. Can you dig this thing? Are you gonna get down? Say wham! Say bam! You can tell me that I'm not. Do you enjoy what you do? If not, just stop. Don't say that and rock. You can tell me that I'm not. Do you enjoy what you do? If not, just stop. Don't say that and rock. You can tell me that I'm not. Do you enjoy what you do? If not, just stop. Don't say that. Enjoy what you do. 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 Everybody say wham! Say bam! Everybody say wham! Say wham, bam! Enjoy what you do. 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 Enjoy what you do.
We're gonna do this one on Singing with the Sam, no doubt.
Enjoy what you do.
It is Wham!
Enjoy what you do. Enjoy what you do.
That was their very first release. Actually, they made a demo of Careless Whisper and the Wham Rap, which were two of the songs that got them signed. They were listening to Rapper's Delight. They got this idea to make this song. They were only 18 or 19 years old and basically saying they're unemployed, they're proud, and the DHSS that they're rapping about and yelling is the Department of Health and Social Security. Basically saying to enjoy what you do and don't worry about it, have fun, because the government will pay you for it. And of course, it launched him into stardom, so there you go. Wham! The Wham Rap, wrapping up another edition of Decades on this Saturday night. Thank you so much for doing it for 16 years, coming on 16 years here on the radio. Check us out online, decades@joeykramer.com. Got to thank Jerry Buckner tonight from Buckner and Garcia, talking about Pac-Man and everything else. Always a great guy to have on the show. We'll have that up on the website. Check us out on Facebook. Download the Radio Bolt app for your iPhone or Android device, and I will talk to you next Saturday night right here on the River 105 and 103.5.